Hello participants. Today in this session we will discuss software packages. This particular comes under your paper 6 Information Technology Applications, Module 1 Library Automations, Unit 3 Software Packages Feature. In this particular video we will discuss what actually the software means, what are the various types of softwares, and we will discuss the types of software keeping in our mind in library usages. Last, we will discuss how to evaluate the softwares. Since software is a big investment for any organization, there is a need to evaluate. Therefore, in the last, we will also discuss how to evaluate the software. So, dear friends, very first term, that is what is called a software. Dear friends, software is a set of program, data, or a set of programs that can run under computer system. Here computer system means a system in where various hardware and other devices are attached to it and software works or integrate the hardware to perform a function. Particularly, softwares are basically used for various library operations. So, very first question, what is software? Software is a set of program or instruction that run inside the computer for a particular operations. Software is made or built by human being, but it creates in such a form that one cannot touch it. You can say it, software is an intangible entity or item which is understandable by computer program itself. Software basically, although developed by human being, not understandable by human or common human, but software can easily understand by computer for various operations and activities. Based on applications and availability, software are of two types. First is system software. Second is application software. These two types are based on the applications. So these system software are those softwares which are basically used to run the overall system process, or you can say this is the software which manage the overall computing system. As you know, every place to go for one place to another place, there is a need of a road. If we cannot establish a road, then we cannot run a vehicle. System software basically establishes an environment in the computing system which helps to run various applications. Very common example comes under system software is BIOS, that is built input output system. Another very good example of system software is this operating system, either maybe Linux or maybe Windows NT or maybe this Mac's operating system, whatsoever you can say. On the other hand, application software are designed to perform certain actions or certain tasks. If we say about task of data management, then we are preparing data management software. If we are talking the task of word processing, then we are in need of word processing software like MS Word, OpenWord. If we talk about image processing, then we have a software called Paint, you probably know. There is another software basically is also available, and present day it is very common, and that is related to visualization. Very example of visualization software comes like Gephi, like your software like Was Viewer. These are very good examples of system software. Now, based on availability, you can say software are of three types. First is closed code, and it is particularly known as commercial software. Closed code software or commercial software, by its name you can gain information that it is such type of software in where you cannot get the code. That's why you cannot customize. Whatsoever it is being provided by the provider or the software developer, you have to accept. On your need, you cannot customize. But these softwares have such a facility that people adopted it because they are easy to use. The second very software is, as you know, I have told it, the commercial software. You cannot change its code or customize. But present day, everybody want to change according to his or her need, to incorporate the changes into the software or to make it available for reuse or reuse. There is another species of software is available, and which name is open source software. By its name you can get it clear. Open source software are those software where the source code is available for use, reuse, download, customize for various purposes. So these software have a flexibility. Among these two, there are another type, and that type is called free software. In this type of software, the source code is not available, but software you can download or you can get it free without paying to anybody. So these are three types of software. I will talk little bit after a while about these three softwares. Now let comes to the very first one, and that is called, we have already talked about the software on the basis of availability and the application. Now we are in the domain of libraries. So we have to know what are the software that are being used in various library operations. In fact, library operations are mostly of four types. First is bibliographic information storage and retrieval. What does it mean? The content, the bibliographic information of the document must be stored in computer system so that it must be retrieved later for use. Such type of software are known as bibliographic information storage and retrieval software. Second category is integrated library management software. As its name says, library management and integrated means it's such type of software which integrate various sections of the library. Commonly it does, these softwares are known as housekeeping operation. Means these softwares are particularly meant for use of various housekeeping operations of the library. Since the things are changed, every library would like to make their contents more digital and display it to the wide audience. So to convert their existing retrospective collections or their important collections into digital form, there is a need of software, and that's called digital library software. Digital library software is the backbone of establishing your digital collections. The fourth category software that are particularly used in software domain, but today we are using it, and that's called content management software. Since our intention present day is to make our content available to the world audience, just for that we have a software, or we are using in our library domain a software which is known as content management software. Under this software, various softwares are come. We will discuss one by one after a bit. Now let's start with the first very software, and that is for bibliographic information and information storage and retrieval software, and that is the CDSIS. So CDSIS, As you know, its name is Computerized Documentation System, Integrated Set of Information System. Basically, CDSIS is a well-known DOS system, DOS-based software. It is used for generalized information storage and retrieval. This software was developed and maintained by UNESCO. It is specifically meant for the structure of non-reductant numeric data, powered by a very comprehensive formatting language to control display of records and also provide many advanced level of retrieval features. In fact, it is not an ILMS or integrated library management software, but provide an excellent framework for managing bibliographical database such as library catalog. A window version of CDSIS, popularly known as WinISIS, was first came in 1995, later on in 1998 for distribution, is one of the window emphasis or window enabled software which is used for bibliographic information data handling process. There are few other softwares which are prepared by using this CDSIS. Very common such softwares are DECIDOCS DLMS, that is Defense Library Management System, or you can say INSDOC Catman. These two software are very popular, and you know these software are heavily used in library for a long time. There is another software in this category which name is Sanjay. Sanjay is also a very popular software which was based by using CDSIS. With the changing need of libraries, complex process, or to integrate the whole affairs of the library, most of the softwares have become less popular. Here, this software means I am talking about bibliographic information handling softwares become less popular, and they are become less relevant in present context. In order to cope up with the changing needs, present day, a number of software are being used in libraries, and these are known as integrated library management software. Under this integrated library management softwares, we will talk on the first one, and that is called your LIBSYS. Now we are coming in the second category, that is library management software. Basically, it forms the core and automated library system. ILMS or integrated library management softwares overseeing all library housekeeping operations, managing the library budget, planning and negotiating the acquisition of materials, interlibrary loan request, stack maintenance, overseeing fee collections, event planning, fundraising, and also you can say human resources. These library management software are based on rational database architecture. In such system, files are interlinked so that deletion, addition, and other changes in one file automatically activate changes in the related files. It means integrated library management system is sharing a common database to perform all the basic functions of the library. While talking on LMS, it may be better to say that based on availability, LMS are mainly of three types: commercial, open, and free source. My dear students, here in the screens, you will see different type of softwares under different softwares code availability. First one is commercial software. Under this, very popular one is VTLS Virtua, ILMS, LIBSYS and SOUL. The current version of LIBSYS is 10 and current version of SOUL is 3.0, although here it is 2.0. Under the open source software, that means in where source code is available for libraries to use, reuse and remodify. Very common examples are Koha, Newgenly and Evergreen. These are the three logos I am showing in the screen. Under the third category, that is free softwares, the very two common examples are Vibram's ABCD and second one is NIC's eGranthalaya. These are the types of software on the basis of availability and being used for integrated library management system throughout the world. Now let's see one by one about a few of commercial one, open source one and free one. So the first one, very popular one, in fact, comes with a name is called LIBSYS. Actually, LIBSYS is very popular in Indian context and it is a indigenous software. LIBSYS is very well known for different types of libraries. LIBSYS has a facilities like Unicode support, federated search, customization, look and feel, user notification through email and SMS, RSS feed, and integration with Google Book, Bookfinder, etc. And interactive features like online review, rating, renewal, reservation, etc. In fact, LIBSYS is built in an international standard and open technologies like Java. It has modules like all library need to for its automation purposes like acquisition, cataloging, circulation, serial, article indexing, web OPAC, customizable report, support, and it supports standard like Mark 21, SRU, SRW, Z39.50, NISO, NCIP, SICI barcode, etc. So on looking this, you can able to understand LIBSYS is a very important software, but it's a commercial one. The next one is called SOUL, software for university library, is basically a product which is developed by Infinite with the collaboration of Decidoc. SOUL current version is 3.0 and SOUL basically runs under the RDMS on Windows NT operating system as backend and to store and retrieve data through its Windows NT operating system. It has all the modules that LIBSYS has along with user-friendly OPAC facility, means online public access catalog facility, which enable to access the catalog of a library through the library terminals, and these OPACs services are supported by bibliographic standard like CCF, AACR2 and ISO 2709 for export and import of data. It also provides facilities to create, view and print records in regional language. Probably this is one of the most strongest point with the SOUL. It supports both LAN and one environment and is available in two versions, for university library and for college library. SOUL 3.0 is compliant with NCIP 2.0 protocol for RFID and other related applications, support data exchange through ISO 2709 standard, compliant to international standard like Mark 21, AACR2, Mark MS XML. However, it is a price one. That's why for procuring it library, one have to submit pays or make payments to implement it, and prices varies on the basis of different type of libraries and the collections. Now let comes to the next zone, and my favorite zone you can say, that is called open source zone. The very common example under this zone, or you can say this type of software, is Koha. The greatest development of this category, Koha, was basically developed in the year 2000 by Katipo Communication Limited of New Zealand. It works under LAMP architecture. Here LAMP means Linux for operating system, Apache for web server compliant and its infrastructure, MySQL for database, and Perl for interface. It enables with 2.0 facilities like tagging, comment, social sharing, RSS feed, union catalog facilities, customization search, online catalog, barcode printing, patron and CAD creation, report generation, patron self-registration from OPAC or through OPAC, every can possible by using this Koha. My dear friends, it particularly means, I would like to say, in any point of time and in any context, you cannot say Koha is not superior than LIBSYS, or Koha is not a proper software for library. I will little bit discuss about Koha after a few. The next one under the category is called Evergreen. Evergreen, basically a software, comes in form of a project that was started in 2006 by Georgia Public Library System to support 275 public libraries in the state Georgia, USA. It works under Unix-like operating system, uses PostgreSQL as RDMS, Apache as web server, OpenSRF and libdbi, libdbd libraries for other operations. It has modules for circulation, cataloging and others. These modules are very comprehensive, supported for Mark 21 based catalog edition. It has web catalog facilities. You can also create statistical reporting. You can control the acquisition section, serial everyday activity. Everything you can also do it by using Evergreen software. It also supports the SIP2 protocol for self-change. Now, a very common question that I have already discussed about open source software. As I have already told you, open source is available at free of cost. I have also told you that you can change the source code by downloading the open source software. A very common question then comes, why a number of libraries in India still are using the closed code or commercial softwares? And interesting to know that very big libraries like IITs, IIMS, IISCs, big universities, colleges are using still the commercial software, particularly the LIBSYS one. A very common question, why? The reason is that most of those libraries started their automation project before 1990s or during 1990s, when the open source was not in the same rhythms, or you can say same space as it in present. So these libraries are already adopted a particular form of software within time which was available for their automation job. Now with the passages of time, since their collection has already increases, they have already incorporated all these things into the computer system. At this juncture of time, transmitting from one software to another, or you can say switching from one software to another software, is a very challenging job. You cannot expect that a library always in that position to switch over from one software to another software very easily. But dear friends, I must say, if you say commercial software, there is only a single software, and which is name is LIBSYS, which is prominently makes under which is particularly used by different types of libraries. Other type of library softwares, commercial software like SLIM, ILS, or you can say NIML, these commercial softwares are particularly used in some particular region. You cannot say pan-Indian softwares, or you cannot say these softwares are uniformly used in various regions of India. So, my intention to say that commercial software, although very much used by various IITs and various IISs, but if you ask me from my core of my heart, I must say a library must adopt open source software for various library operations. Now you may ask me why you are switching, or why you are asking to transform your library to open source software. So my dear friends, let's understand a bit about why Koha is gaining popularity day by day and why we should use Koha. First, it is an award-winning free open software which has no license. So, yearly system maintenance, renewal or license renewal is not needed. Koha supports Unix, Linux, Mac, a huge number of operating systems. So, one can easily adopt Koha for his library environment. Koha supports full Mark 21, Unimark. That's why for standardized cataloging, Koha is very suitable. It's a browser-based software. So, you can access from across the intranet as well as internet of your organization. Being with Koha, the library gets the flexibility to choose how it wishes to integrate with the hardware. It is capable to supporting international standards like SIP2, NCIP for RFID hardware integration. This ensures that there is no dependency on any proprietary system. Koha is currently maintained by a dedicated team of software providers. As I earlier mentioned, libraries are feeling shy to transfer from one system to another, but now Koha is very stable one. You can easily adopt it because there is a big team working behind the screen. 24/7 hours you can get support for its implications, and if there are any bugs come to overcome the problem. Koha supports major industry standards, and you comfortably use this Koha particular various types of database. You can make the implementation in that particular in any type of database you can implement with Koha. Koha doesn't restrict over the number of users. This is one of the biggest thing, that Koha doesn't restrict over a number of users using the system. There are no separate license supported or needed for more users. The only thing, everyone is able to install and manage the system by himself if they are using the open source software like Koha. Installing the software requires good technical skill, knowledge, how to operate Linux, day-to-day problems that are coming when handling the MySQL, Apache, Linux or Koha itself, that one must have to. Otherwise, it is little bit difficult to implement. Only knowing Koha is difficult. Expertise with Koha is very simple for libraries to adopt. And also, if you need to make any change in the system, software in Koha, you can easily do it very comfortably. Now, the next one, and that is called free software. Under this software, as I have already told, very common example is Biremi's ABCD and UNESCO's WEBLIS. All these softwares are basically a software which is particularly use source code for openly available, but they runs under various proprietary softwares. For example, most of these softwares works under Microsoft product like Windows operating system, MS SQL, RDMS, ASP.NET programming environment. So as you know, these are already a proprietary one. So you cannot say, although these software source code are free, but the backend programs which works this software efficiently useful for a library is a proprietary one. That's why it comes under the category of free software. As mentioned earlier, we are carrying digitization job. And for digitization job, the very first thing is that you have to convert your collection to various digital library software. Dear friends, the very two commonly used and very well popular digital library softwares are DSpace and Keystone. If you see the screen over here, in this screen, I am particularly showing you the screenshot of DSpace. DSpace is a unique software, or you can say DSpace is a unique open source digital library software for creating your own collections, so that any type of contents which is available on your library, you can make it or convert it in digital form and get it accessible through terminals at every point. So this is particularly a software which comes under digital library software category. Along with that, I have already told you another one is Greenstone. You must read the Greenstone by your own. I am expecting that. But the other category of library management software which I was talking of is called content management software. Dear friends, as again I am repeating, content management softwares are not a particular software for library, but library peoples are using this software. One of the greatest example is Joomla. And you know Joomla is used in number of other applications. By this using Joomla or Drupal or WordPress, you can visualize the content of your library, or you can make your library accessible in 24/7 scale from any point. You can also create profile directory, a little page of library of yourself, anything by using this content management software. Now, we have already seen that a software or number of software are being now used in libraries. As I have already told you that software is a big investment. Investment not always in terms of money. There are so many organizations which have enough money to spend. But one have to be understand, by software we are digitize our content. So once a content already get digitized, we are already making it compatible with computing system for library automation. Shifting from one system to another is a very challenging job. Because of that, before adopting the software, one must evaluate which software is suitable for him or for his or her library. My dear friends, there are few points you must remember while evaluating a particular software. First is, you have to understand the type of library for which you are going to procure. If it is academic, public, or a small library. And certainly size. Size means here up to what extent of collection you have, and in the next 15 years, what are the tentative approximate collection would be. You have to calculate. According to you have to procure the software that for your library. You have to understand if it is a priced one, whether the paying price is a correct one, that means cost benefit analysis. Before adopting a software for any type of libraries, whether it is a small or big, you have to analyze the cost benefit. That means on spending this amount of money, what extent of service or facility I am getting, and that facility or services whether we are needing it or not. This is very important. For implementing any software, I always suggest there is a need to talk about the neighbor libraries where these softwares are in operation, because a software that is available in market with their documentation and software whenever you try to use it on a library, there is a big difference. When you practically use it, so many challenges and troubles comes. You have to overcome those challenges if you have experience as well as you have a support from your neighboring institution. Third, as I have just mentioned few seconds back, that is, a software must be procured if on the basis of the competency or skill, looking the competency and skill you have. If your library staff have that extent of competence to handle open source software, because open source software need expertise. If your persons or your staffs have that extent of competence. Along with that, I must say, there is another thing is very important, and that is called dedication and devotion. If your staffs are really dedicated and devoted to implement your library into a digital form, or you can say about in implementing the integrated library management software to make your library automated library, so certainly you can adopt it. Last but not the least, you always think of the funds. Funds is not one-time funds. There is always need of recurring expenditure when we install a software into our system. There is always need of other capitals which is always needed to run a software. So, dear friends, whenever we adopted a software, you must look these points on adopting the software into the libraries. So, dear friends, now packing up these modules. In this particular module, what I have discussed, what particular software is, what type of software library student they are use. On that particular cases, I have also discussed a few things about how a software is adopted in a library and why it is to be adopted. I have talked about integrated library management software. I have talked about open source integrated library management software. Then I have talked about digital library software. I was started my journey with DSpace, that is bibliographic data handling software. And last, pack up with the words called how a software should evaluate before it implements. I also must say, whenever you try to implement a software, you must look whether the software serves you the core services like acquisition, cataloging, all the module, whether it has enhanced services which is presently very much need, whether these services, other services, it is provided to you or not to you, you have to be checked very clearly. Let's come the MCQs for next discussion. On the basis of the discussion, if you see, there are few MCQs I am showing here, and the first is who created or developed the e-Granthalaya. As you know, it is the Government of India NIC who has developed the e-Granthalaya. Second MCQ is arrange the following according to the chronological sequence of their launching: Koha, NewgenLib, CDSIS, LIBSYS. And the answer will be first CDSIS. Along with the things so far I have discussed, there are few parameters that one must see when evaluating the software. These parameters are fewer core services, like whether a library is providing acquisition, a library software is providing acquisition, cataloging, circulation, OPAC, serial control, data exchange, such type of facilities, whether the software is giving or not. If it is giving, then okay. If it is not, you have to think of. Then enhanced services like customization report, GUI based interface, reservation facility, interlibrary loan module, multilingual supports, union catalog supports, authority file supports, whether these supports are provided by a software or not. Before purchasing, one must be ensured. Other services like Patron self-service through RFID and smart card, self-circulation and self-reservation, these are present in need. So, you have to check this. Online user training and orientation services, stock verification facility, member photo ID card generation, barcode generation, fine calculation, free receipt generation, all these facilities along with CDSSE, C8 support, whether a software is giving or not, you have to be cross-checked before implementing. So, in nutshell, software is a program which is particularly used for various operations or various functions, as we are talking about library world. So, library softwares are those softwares which are particularly used in library domain. We have discussed library softwares in terms of open source softwares, commercial softwares, and free source software. We have shown you various slides by showing what comes under open source, what comes under free source, and what comes under commercial software. Last, we have little bit explained on before implementing a software, what are the criteria to be implemented for its evaluation. Now, based on my discussion, let's discuss few MCQs that are very important. The first very MCQ is, who has developed eGranthalaya? As I have already discussed, it is developed by NIC. Second question is, among the following, which arrange the following according to their year of origin? And these softwares are Koha, NewGenLib, CDSIS, and the LIBSYS. On looking the screen, you know CDSIS was the first software which is developed by UNESCO in 1985. Then came LIBSYS, then came Koha, then came NewGenLib. The year of established CDSIS is 1995, LIBSYS is 1988, Koha is 2000, and NewGenLib is 2005. Select the library automation software developed by Decidon. And interestingly, here you just see, I have mentioned all the three softwares that is developed by Decidon, and these are ILMS, Suchika, and Sanjay. Which among the following library management softwares were developed by Infinity? It's very common. I think you are quite smart. Certainly, it is Soul, and I have already told you that another one, and that is called InCat. InCat for cataloging module software, it was developed by Infinity 2. Who was developed by Catman? I have already discussed. It is nothing but the install. Now, little bit discuss based on our discussion little bit. Let's come few question and answer based on our presentation. First is, what do you mean by open source? Why such softwares have become popular? As I have already told you, open source means source code is available. Why they are popular? Because you can download it, use it, redistribute it, and customize it according to your need. I would like to say here, this open source software is available on general public license. So these licenses are open to all. Second question, what is the best known commercial software for library operations? I have already talked to you, and this is nothing but the LIBSYS. I have discussed various features of LIBSYS. You can consult various sources to know about LIBSYS. Explain the function of any open source software that are playing an important role in library domain, and it is nothing but the Koha. I have already discussed a bit on Koha. And last, explain various criteria for evaluating software. I have discussed last on your topic. There are few areas that is called size, collection, expertise of the staff, neighboring libraries who are using this library. These parts you are looking at. Do you feel libraries should adopt only open source software? Justify your. My dear friends, this is the analogy based answer. I expect from all of you, after reading this module, you will answer this question. Why open source is better than closed source, and what extent you justify that open source is better, or if you have not justified that open source still not better, you have to explain on that. Thank you. Have a nice day.